There are some general management things that you can do with your pods to make your meetings run more smoothly and make it easier for you to work with the content in the pod. So, for example, I've shown you that you can hide a particular pod. We'll go ahead and hide this pod here. And then if I want to bring that pod back, I can select Pods, Share, and I can add a new share, or in this case, I'm going to select Share 1, which was actually that pod, and that brings that pod back. However, on the other hand, if I want to maximize what I'm showing you inside this share pod, I can select Maximize, and what it does is it hides the other pods and fills all of the available meeting space with this content. That's very handy because it's much faster to do that and then restore it than it is to hover over the edge and drag it yourself and then manually put it back. The Maximize feature is something that I use quite frequently when presenting information in a share pod. There's another thing that you can do with a pod, though, that's not necessarily obvious, and it's very, very useful. I'm going over here to the Notes pod, and I'm just going to type something. Let's say I'm going to type a phone number, 555-555-5555. This might be information that I want to show many times throughout the meeting, or I might even want to show in other meetings that I'm using this room for. Instead of having to remember to type that each time and even have to remember the details that I want to type, what I can do is, with a pod that has some content in it, I'm going to double click on its name and I'm going to rename it. And we'll call this note pod the phone number. Now, I'll hide this pod. And at some point in the future, when I want to show that phone number, all I need to do is go back to the Pods menu, and under the Notes option in the Pods menu, I'll see that the phone number is now an option there. And I can select it, and Connect will put it back. Renaming is something that I can do to any pod, and what it allows me to do is to have multiple pods containing different types of information and bring those up as necessary very, very quickly, as opposed to having to try and remember, wait, was it Web Links 3 or Web Links 4 that had the information in it? Instead, I can rename the pod and put web links in this pod that represent resources. I might have another set of web links that are for further reading or whatever. Renaming the pods is something that makes your meetings go much, much more smoothly because it's going to be much faster for you to bring content found within a pod onto the screen for your audience. Now, at some point, you may decide that you want to get rid of a particular pod. Perhaps this phone number is no longer valid, and so you'd like to remove it and the pod that goes with it. So, of course, I can always just come in and retype the phone number here, but if I want to delete it completely, what I'll do is select Pods, Manage Pods. That will bring up the Managed Pods dialog box, and to sort the pods by type, I'll click on Type, and I'll scroll down until I see Notes. I'm looking for the Notes phone number pod, and I can click Delete. That pod disappears both from the screen, but also from the list of pods that Connect is remembering on the back end. In fact, if there are a series of pods that aren't being used, I can select Unused Pods and delete all of them all at once. And that's not a bad way to go if you've got a meeting that you've used for several different purposes and you want to do a little bit of house cleaning. It's a good idea to come in and manage your pods to get rid of them, because it makes it easier then when you go to the Pods menu, choose a particular pod type. You're not going to see a long list of irrelevant pods that might be confusing, or you might not understand which exact pod you're supposed to use for the given purpose that you have. So, by using these management techniques, you're going to make your meetings much smoother, much cleaner, and much easier because it'll be faster for you to grab specific information and show it to your audience.